Let's make this happen. There is tons of stuff going down, and you need to know about it, but you need to know how to plan, how to prepare. You need to be ready. Hey, I have my avatars back tonight. The pictures. Welcome, Enrique Alston. Welcome. Adrian from Queens, New York. Margie, Louisville, Kentucky. Michelle, Kentucky. Sheila, Arizona. What's up, Danelle? Jay, Don in Ontario, Canada. What's happening? Austin, Texas. Anna. Rochester, New York. Christine. Welcome here. Anybody first timers? Anybody first? Ramsey in Central Massachusetts, and Christy from Utah. Texas, Taylor. Taylor in Texas. Tease. I love it. St. Cloud. Kimmy and Branson, Missouri, Norway. Welcome, Norway. Excellent. I saw Triangle, New York, like 5 miles from where I grew up. Queens, New York. Melissa in Houston, Texas. Let's do this. Oh, we have some information tonight. Michelle in Arizona, welcome. Welcome all of you noble patriots. Nancy in Atlanta, welcome. How are you? Christy in Iowa. New Smyrna Beach. Hey, just up the road. Great beach, fun beach. Lynn in Quebec, Canada, welcome. Texas, Caleb. Wheatfield, New York. I don't know where Wheatfield, New York is, Trisha. Being from New York, and I don't know where it is. Cleveland, Tennessee. Jimmy, welcome. Central New York. Justin. Amanda, North Carolina. Chesterfield, Virginia. PJ, welcome to the show. Fabian, welcome. Kansas City, Lisa, great name. Chelsea in Texas. Toronto, I do love Toronto. Been there several times. It's a beautiful city. Lisa in Wisconsin. Wisconsin was red. It is red. I think he won 40 plus states. That's what I think. Lori in Connecticut, welcome. Aniko in California. And guess what, folks? I have a feeling he won California. Just saying. Even though I was very angry with California the other night, he might have won it. I will take back all my words if necessary. David in India, whatever that is. Martin, hello, Martin. Hello, Ohio, Sarah. Hey, Gabriel, how are you? Jersey, Karen. Murphy does suck. My other friend Jeremy tells me the same thing. Susie in Michigan. Melina Moss, I just talked to you today. You're fantastic. Yes, it's very possible he won California and New York. I'm still not going to say he won 50 states, but he won the majority. They lied. And I'm going to show you how. Let's see. Illinois, Ashley. Hey, Ashley with the green hair. Your picture sticks out the most here. You definitely want to get noticed. Be like Ashley and have green hair and a green outfit. It sticks right out. Let's see. The cough is a little bit back. My cough, we have found out, gets activated by glyphosate. That's right. Glyphosate. Dr. Dean's lungs do not like glyphosate. Glyphosate is toxic. It is poison, just so you know. Christy is on. Guy in Michigan, what's happening? All right, let's get to it. I have a few things to say tonight. First of all, this is what I hear. And by the way, just for the record, I do see most everyone's, I shouldn't say most everyone, I can't say that. I see a lot of the comments on my posts. I do. But if I was to try to answer, first of all, it would take forever. I also do have a regular job too on top of this. I actually sometimes feel bad doing it because then I feel bad for the other ones that I don't comment on. So it's actually on me. I feel weird about it. But I will tell you, the most common comment I get is anxiety or stress or don't trust the plan or when is it gonna, like, this whole worry thing, okay? Now, trust me, you can ask my wife. In my life, I used to do a lot of worrying, okay? I can worry with the best of them when I put my mind to it. I try not to. However, at this point in time, I don't have any worry. And I want to show you how to not have any worry, all right? Red Dark to Light from Canada just said Red Collie coming back. Red Collie I talked to today. Red Collie will be back on Monday because Red Collie's got some important stuff to talk about. But this is what I need you to do. I need you, noble patriots. I need all of you out there. I need you to testicle and ovary up. I need you to find that American flag patriot legacy in your blood, and I need you to conjure it up into this brain right here, and I need you to get fired up and literally own your shit. You need to own who you are. This, let me tell you something. I have seen so many people go, I don't know. I don't know what to do. My friends think I'm crazy. If you're around people that don't believe in you, you either need to find a way to handle that or get the hell out of the situation. Do you understand how many friends and family I have lost because of my mindset? And yet every single day it gets stronger and stronger and I push harder and harder for the truth. There's this idea that it's crazy or weird or you're stupid or you're insane or you're just like you're messed up because you think about the word conspiracy. And this is so wrong because you're a conspiracy theorist. You know, right? You're right. Guess what? This country since 1871 and possibly before that has been stuck in a conspiracy to destroy the Republic. Yes, I am a conspiracy theorist. I actually call myself a conspiracy realist. You need to start owning that title. And if people call you crazy or they talk you down or they put you down, that's where you conjure up that patriotic American forefathers, founders energy, and you own it and you put them back in their place, whether you do it with nice aggression or you do it just with class. You put them back in your place and put them back in their place. Do you understand this country has been stolen from us? And before 2020, everyone was asleep except for a tiny little portion. That tiny little portion has now grown to like this kind of portion. If you are on this train, if you are a noble patriot or if you've ever watched this and you have, even if you don't believe in the whole thing, but you know something's wrong, it is your duty, your responsibility to own it. And if you don't own it, walk away. If you're going to be put down or you're going to be backed into a corner, and this includes friends, this includes family, this includes spouses, this includes parents, this includes grandparents, this includes brothers and sisters. I'm not saying you have to get rid of your spouse, but you damn well better handle your spouse. This is game time. Do you understand? They took America, which was founded on principles, on ethics, on morals, and they turned America into Sodom and Gomorrah. We used to work with pride. We used to take care of our families. We used to protect our children. We used to have a nuclear family, and now it's okay. It's all right. You can be gay, you can be bi, you can be queer, you can get rid of a baby upon conception. You can get rid of a baby at 9 months. You can kill a baby when it comes out. You can do whatever the hell you want in America now. You can go on a drug binge. You can drink your face off. You can snort coke all night. You can bang prostitutes if you want to. You can do anything because America is open for everybody. We can pull in everyone from Mexico, from Cuba, from the South America. Let's just let everybody in. It's okay because this is America and we have to be open to everything. Right? That's what America's become. We become the shithole of the world, and the only thing that has stopped us becoming from a complete banana republic is because we still have some founding documents that some men and women were bold enough to write and sign after they blew off some heads of the British. They didn't take this country by, well, we're just going to go ahead and take it and we're going to write some memes and thank you for our country. You need to understand what our freaking founders did. They went to war, they shot people in the head, they hung people with nooses, and they cut their damn heads off because they didn't believe in being slaves. That's what they did. And we went from that, where we proudly carried our firearms. We proudly hunted and got our food. We proudly came back and took care of our families to, no, it's okay now. Now we're just going to let everyone do whatever they want to, and if they tell you that you've offended them, well, we're going to back off because we don't want to upset anybody. Right? That's what it's over. That's not what America is. I didn't say go hate anybody of a different lifestyle. I didn't say to go beat somebody up or bully. Absolutely not. That's wrong. A human is a human. Whether they're confused or not confused, totally different. And I'm not going to tell somebody who's gay, whatever, I'm not going to tell them what they can or can't do. If you want to go get married, go get freaking married. Marriage is not a government situation. Marriage is a spiritual situation. If you feel that's the way you want to do it, go for it. If you want to go snort a line of cocaine, go for it. Do it in your own home where you're not affecting anybody else. But if you think that we can take this lifestyle and put it on television and put it in everyone's face and put it in front of my family's face or your family's face and say that's okay and you have to accept it, you're in the wrong damn country. And I'm going to tell you right now, God, creator, source, whatever you want to call it, universe, energy, I don't care. There is a thing called karma. No matter what it's called, no matter what the creator's called, there's this thing called ethics and morals and justice. When you continue to go against natural laws, that will come back and it will punch you in the face. It will remove you from the system. We are going back to our republic the way it was intended. So, if you're sitting at home and you're anxious or worried, you need to conjure up these emotions that make you an American. We have a legacy that we are to uphold. When Benjamin Franklin said it's a republic if you can keep it, he didn't mean keeping it by just, passively going through life and we'll keep it. No, if you have to handle some business, you handle some business to keep the republic. So if you're sitting at home and you're anxious or you're worried, first of all, conjure up that blood flow to the brain again. get your brain working, getting into survival mode. But guess what? Guess what? Everyone knows how to survive instinctively. So survive. If you're in a mode where you feel like you're not surviving, you're scared to death, then maybe you need a little more excitement and a little more danger in your life. If you can't handle danger and rise up to it, then you might be in the wrong country, you might be in the wrong area, and you might need to go. As Dan Bongino said, we will not allow weakness to infest our population. It's already gone too far. We're going to fight back, and we're going to win this thing because this is for people and this is for humanity. So if you're at home, conjure it up. Next thing you do is you plan. I've been telling you for 9 months to plan. If you think this is over because the court system is involved, oh, no. When the President of the United States is declared the winner, they're going to burn the damn country down. They're going to do everything they can to destroy the republic before they're taken out. You need food. You need water. You need survival stuff. Anything you can think that you might need some weapons. We never want to use them, but you might absolutely need them. If you live in a state that is a shithole liberal nightmare, you might want to have a plan to get the hell out, whether it's for good or just for the time being to survive. You might need to do that. Now, do I hope this all doesn't happen? Absolutely. But you can't. One of the reasons you're worrying and you're listening to other people's BS is because you're not prepared. People are like, why are you so calm when you know all this is coming possibly? Because we prepared. Now, are you ever 100% prepared? No. Welcome to the danger of living. Welcome to life. The danger is actually supposed to turn on your survival light bulb, your survival trigger. But a lot of people have been so freaking dumbed down and disengaged in this country by the globalists, by the elite, that they just stopped caring and they went into passive mode. Those are the people that don't survive in the long run. We need warriors. We need patriots. Plan, prepare, and decide. When you do those things, you will have calmness. When you do those things, you will be fine. Now, let me lay out the things that can happen, because people are saying, well, what if this occurs? Let me lay out for you, ready? The worst case scenarios. If you want to feel calm, prepare and plan, decide what you're going to do when the shit hits the fan. And then here are the worst case scenarios. And if you write down the worst case scenarios and then you figure out solutions for the worst case scenarios, you will be fine. So, worst case scenario, Biden becomes president. Okay, Biden becomes president. He can't get a complete sentence out of his mouth without sounding like a dementia idiot. And that doesn't mean dementia people are idiots. I'm just telling about him. He's a criminal. So he's an idiot. All right? So if Biden becomes president and they actually allow him to serve for 4 years, it's Biden. Is that what you're worried about? And then on top of that, guess what? You have a Senate. The Senate stayed red. Guess what? The Senate probably won't go his direction. And if they do, guess what? You got this thing called the Second Amendment preserved. All right? Okay, now what if Kamala gets in because they removed Biden? Okay, guess what? Same thing. You have the Senate. If the Senate decides to go with her instead of doing what they're supposed to do, then guess what? We have the Second Amendment. All right? There you go. There are your worst case scenarios from a liberal radical standpoint. All right? There you go. All right. Now let me give you The worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is, and trust me, I studied this one too, is what if President Trump turns his back on us and is the New World Order and works with the Mossad and the globalists, and we go through a great reset and we all become slaves and vaccinated. Well, guess what? If that occurs, God wins. If that occurs, you do the best you can. If that occurs, you do everything possible, your imagination, to handle the laws in your area. You move if you have to. You preserve money if you have to. You preserve medical freedom. If it happens, it happens. But don't get afraid of it. Fight it. Battle. And by the way, if the president did turn his back on us, do you understand how many patriots right now would not even go for that? I mean, I know everyone is behind the president right now, but if he turned his back on us and gave in to the globalist New World Order, there's a lot of patriots out there that would not put up. And by the way, the Anons, and there's lots of Q followers, lots. They've already been looking at that option as well, just in case. And don't worry, we're all going to survive. And guess what? At the end of the day, we are not this human body. We are souls. Now, do I want to suffer an extremely horrible death? No, I do not. That does not sound like an exciting day to me. However, I know that I am a spiritual, I'm a soul, I'm a being, whatever you want to call it. I am energy, I am light. If they decide to take us out, then I go back out there to the heavens. I either go to a promised land like we've all discussed, or you come back around, or whatever, however that game works, right? You can't lose. And on top of that, if the president, this is why I never have really viewed a lot as if the president decides to turn on us, because there's this thing called the Second Amendment that's still in place, and they do not want a bloodbath civil war. That is not what they're going for. But if they do, then we fight and we battle the best that we can. Now, the other worst case scenario really isn't a worst case scenario. What if there's a solar flash? What if there's a gigantic flood and it floods the entire population and we all die a horrible, tragic death? Okay, same thing. You're not going to see it coming. It's going to happen fast and it's over with. I know that sounds flippant and I know that sounds ridiculous, and you're like, but that's morbid and that's disgusting, and why would you say that? I'm just saying, think about it logically. Think about it from a scientific, a physician standpoint. Don't put your emotion into what it is. Just look at it logically. All right? Trust me. I know the Republican Democrat. I get it. Same party, two-party system, run by the bankers, run by the pyramid at the top. By the way, as much as I talk a lot about Trump, a lot of you don't realize I've done tons of shows where I talk about the system being manipulated. Yes, is it like a big division right now? Good versus bad, good versus bad? Of course it is. Could it be being run by the top? It totally could be being run by the top. I'm not denying that. But guess what? I've taken you deeper than that. I've taken you into reptilians. I've taken you into Pleiadians and the star systems and everything else. So I understand. I've already been there. I get it. But this is the beauty. So when someone tells you, you're crazy, it's the same system, Trump's being manipulated, it's the Zionists, it's the Dracos, it's the bankers, it's the this, it's the queen, it's the monarchy, kings, whatever. Guess what? Just the fact that you can entertain that idea in your head and think around it means you're awake. It means you have to stop worrying about it. I know that could play out as well, but guess what? I know about it. So now I can look for it. And if it happens, I will go into survival mode and I will do what I have to fight back. Welcome to the game. Welcome to the system and you have your guns, baby. They're not coming for your guns. Just so you know, all right? Now, we're going to dive into some stuff, okay? I want to take some things down. I'm going to show you videos tonight, all right? By the way, Steve Bannon on the War Room has been taken down by, I believe, Twitter and YouTube. It's gone. All right? Bongino, Facebook is messing with his page. They will probably take him down. If you have not gone to my website, therevolutionnetwork.com, we'll put a link in the comments. Go to the link. Click on it. When you go there, within a few seconds or so, there will be a window that pops up saying stay up to date or something along those lines. There's also a tab at the top right. Click on it. Stay involved. If social media goes down, if Facebook, Twitter, etc. go down, I will be live streaming on the network as promised. I just went all in on a pro membership to Gab. I am working Gab out where I'm going to also be putting up these videos and live streaming to Gab. Look for that. I've seen the writing on the wall for a long time. Okay? I'm also over on Parler. We're getting that all set up, and that should not be taken down. So, get on the website, the network, which there's tons more coming. Get on Gab, get on Parler, and then we'll be at those as well. But get on that email list, because if everything goes down, if all social media goes down, you have to go to the network. All right? And by the way, everyone's like, go to BitChute. I have never had any desire to go to BitChute. For some reason, I don't know why. I wasn't told anything. I actually kind of looked at it like, oh God, another video site that I have to upload to. I mean, like literally, besides working all day, then doing this in the research, like I have to farm stuff out because I don't also have time to sometimes upload things up and write a bunch of copy in the descriptions, etc. And so I was like, okay, everyone's saying BitChute, let me try it out. Literally the day before, sorry, the day before, I think it was, the day after, I uploaded one video and BitChute got taken down. It got deplatformed. Because, so just so you know, this is why I tell you to go to the network, because they're not going to take the site down, even though they might even take Gab down. They might take Parler down. Social media networks are not all safe. Even though they'll let you put anything up, they're not all safe. And yes, I'll be working on an app, but guess what? To work on an app requires money. So therefore, we need more content. I need more viewership. We need more products and services sold. We need, because I know that ultimately I could just say, hey, send donations, but I like to provide services and value. That's just, I know it's value in the education, but I like to help people with what I do healthcare wise too. So that's why there's patriotnutrition.com. That's why there's noblepatriotkids.com. That's why you can work with me directly from a healthcare standpoint, noblepatriothealth.com. That's why I put those up. That's why they're there, okay? So I just want to let you know, because that is all coming down, because they're going to destroy the system. Now, I want to show you a couple things that are quite interesting to me that came out today, okay? Here we go. Look at this. A phone number. So, Miss America at Sweet Soaps 1776. This phone number has been set up by the Trump's campaign team as a place where people can call and report voter fraud from there or any state. It's 888-630-1776. All right, 888-630-1776. All right, that's pretty cool. Now, this other one, I've always been wondering about Laura Eisenhower. Laura Eisenhower. Okay, now here we go. I have been in contact with Laura Eisenhower. She's very busy as well, so we have not come together on a good interview time, but we're still working on that, and she is open to it. But I'm like, wait a second. She's the granddaughter Um, she's the granddaughter that of Dwight Eisenhower, who talked about the military industrial complex. You're telling me she's not still connected? And then she tweeted this tonight at about 8 o'clock. The plan was put into place by President Eisenhower under executive order to safeguard our constitutional rights in the future. He was briefed that a future descendant was a part of that plan along with many of us. Laugh, mock, hate, I don't care. I know who I am and why I'm here. Now, I'm not going to put words into Laura's mouth, even though I really can't wait to talk to her now because she covers politics, military, ETs, aliens, spirituality. Like, I'm a fan of Laura, okay? So when Laura's on here, when she gets on, I'll probably fanboy out on that too because I've been a fan of hers for a long period of time, and she's a rock star, okay? Now, as of my rant to start, I told you I said I was fired up, and I'm going to be fired up at the end. So if you're on right now, do not fall off. Watch the whole damn show because I'm going to get really fired up at the end. Because when Dr. Dean talks about vaccinations, shit hits the fan. Because I know why vaccinations were put in place. I know what they're for. And part of my job, part of my purpose is educating you on why they're there. And we're going to go into that, and I have some examples because this is part of being an American. We have to stand up for our freedoms because we will not be removed from this planet through population control measures. We will not be culled through death injections. And I'll go into that in a second. But watch this by Steve Bannon today.
He is the president of the United States. President Trump today should take all his time and start implementing the program for his second term. Let Rudy, let Cindy Powell, let Dave Bossie, let Corey Lewandowski, let Rick Grinnell, let Eric Trump and Donald J. Jr., let the killers, okay, let the killers fight this, and a host of fabulous lawyers. Bill McGinley from the War Room, right? Shanghai him, get him on the team. And let us here in the War Room just be the source of information and enlightenment. Everybody out there in this audience, take a deep breath. It's over. It's over. We control the high ground. We control the operations. We control the operating function of the courts in a strict interpretation of the Constitution, the Supreme Court. We control the appellate courts. We control the state legislatures. Larry Schweikert's got a great tweet out. Schweikert, the author of The Patriots' History of the United States, a great constitutional scholar, he tweets it out. If this thing gets screwed up and you can't ascertain the phony vote, the state legislatures take it over. Ladies and gentlemen, where you have these radical governors and secretary of states and attorney generals in, and I'm going to pick just some random states. So I'm going to pick some random states, Jack. In Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, in North Carolina, all these random states, they're controlled by Republicans. So take a deep breath. Because they actually can pick the electors, right? If you can't get to a certified vote, and a certified vote has to be votes that are certifiable, verifiable, and legal. Not votes generated in, some kind of the post office, or just all of a sudden I'm finding, I think we got 50,000. You know how many 50,000 votes would take over the whole war room? Everything was the war room apparatus. Look around your house right now. Where would you put 50,000 votes? You take the whole block. You think those are just they're missing? No, they got the printing press going. So we don't have to play that game. But let's go into court and then they sew them all over. Let's have recounts. Let's do it all. All we need to do is get the 6th of January.
So Steve Bannon, which is hilarious because, wasn't Steve Bannon supposedly banished from the Trump team? Wasn't he banished? Oh, wait a second. Or is President Trump possibly one of the most stable geniuses on the planet and knew exactly what was coming and what he had to do. I'm going to take you into, I have like 4 more videos. So get ready, because what we saw was a sting operation. Now, did I know it at the time? Nope, because I'm not in the inner circle. Did everyone? But it makes sense what they're doing. And this is the lead up to take the system down. Steve Bannon, we have reached out to you. If I am honored to have shown that video of you in the war room, you do an amazing job. And if you would ever come on this show, I would be honored. And it's a privilege to show you, sir. And I would be happy to ask you some questions and let our viewers see you and spread this message farther. So, War Room, great show. He has been deplatformed tonight. So give him some love and his team as well. They've done an amazing job helping to put this all together. Now, I'm going to take you to Red Pill Bina. If you didn't know, I highlighted Red Pill Bina, who was on Twitter many, many months ago. Now, I am not saying I agree with everything Red Pill Bina states. He is very biblical, and that's fine. I'm just letting you see some of the things that Red Pill Bina is uncovering through video, and some of this is going to blow your mind.
Look at this. 2 X's, double female energy. See? And then 1, 2, 3, angel of the bottomless pit. So both sides are female. See, female energy, female energy. Or may not know this, but Trump knew there would be massive voter fraud because of the mail-in voting. That's why, you know, the Dems were like, oh, there's got to be mail-in voting. There's got to be. So they could see what states they would have to fraudulently try and steal. It's obvious by the night of the election, Trump won the election. But now, oh, look, we found 120,000 ballots. Not one Trump ballot, but 120,000 ballots to turn one of the states they were trying to turn. But Trump was really smart. You know what he did? He let them have their mail-ins, but you know what he did? He put watermarks. He had the Department of Justice put watermarks on all ballots that would have to be mail-in ballots. So if you tried to fraudulently make them and reproduce them, they won't have watermarks. So now all hell's going to break loose because the Dems are trying to claim victory, even though we all know they lost. And so they're going to try and steal the election. And then all hell's going to break loose because Trump set a trap for him. So he's already filed against, all these lawsuits in the states that were trying to be overturned by the Dems. So now you have red team versus blue team, just which is what Satan wants. That's the Luciferian plan. You pit one against the other. Any kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. So anyway, let me show you something. 237, it means from the other side in the Bible. That's the word 237. And you'll find it in, let's see. It's in Mark and it's in John 10. But he that climbs up from some other way, it means from another place by another way, is a robber and a thief. So check this out. So in the presidential election, they froze the counts at Biden 237 from another place, from another way. The angel of the bottomless pit. That's what it represents. And then they froze Trump at 213. So watch this. And by the way, thanks to the subscriber that left this. It was a great catch. One of my subscribers that's paying attention saw this. And what are we? We're aliens and sojourners. It means an imposter, a boaster, a vagabond, a wanderer. So they're making Trump, so look, Trump, a wanderer, like an imposter, because it's true. We are imposters in their world. They are the originals, like Adidas original. They started the system as bait to lure God's angels into the trap. It was a snare. You neither shall you touch it. Whoom, you get caught in a snare, turned upside down. And I can prove this like all day long now, all day long.
Now I'm going to follow it up with this one.
Pollinator, an album called Pollinator, just making, making the alluding to that they used God's angels like bees in a hive, and that's a skull that's a honeycomb. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Let me show you. The skull is a honeycomb. There you go. This is from Debbie Harry's video Pollinator, and she's the one that's cutting up a cake of her own identical twin, because that's what they do to us. They cut up an identical twin of us and they serve us up for dinner. That literally that's what consumes us, is our own evil doppelganger. There you go. That's the truth right there. And there you go. And there you got Lady Gaga. You got Lady Gaga standing right there for Biden. 1, 2, 3, angel of the bottomless pit. And there's the bee right there. Those are wings. They put sunglasses on the letter O because it makes a bee. And that's what's going on in the presidential election. The hive is getting ready to make its move on all of humanity. And Trump was really smart. He put watermarks on the votes, on the mail-in votes, without the enemy knowing it. That's why he filed lawsuits in all these different states, because they're going to do a recount and the enemy is going to flip out of their minds. So anyway, we're at the point of extreme civil war now. You know it's coming. There's no doubt about it.
The situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this, we have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
She has become a dwelling place for demons. Come out of her, Micah, lest you take part in her sins, lest you share in her plagues. For her sins are heaped high as heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Since in her heart she says, I sit as a queen, I am no widow, and mourning I shall never see. For this reason her plagues will come in a single day, death and mourning and famine, and she will be burned up with fire. For mighty is the Lord God who has judged her. The sea has come up on Babylon. She is covered with its tumultuous waves. Her cities have become a horror. Alas, alas, you great city, you mighty city Babylon, for in a single hour your judgment has come. Flee from the midst of Babylon. Let everyone save his life. Be not cut off in her punishment. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance, the repayment he is rendering her.
Now, I'm going to clarify something. I am not saying everything Bina talks about, and Bina is supposedly a she. I don't know that whole situation, because every video Bina does is the guy. Very smart. I think probably hits about 90% correct. I love studying the Bible. I don't know if I fully agree with every little decode interpretation Bina has done. Do I think that New York City is going to be completely flooded and tidal waves and everything else? I don't necessarily believe that. Do I believe there will be a civil war? I do. I believe the moment President Trump is declared the winner, all hell is going to break loose in America. America will fall in a way. That is how you rebirth the republic. That is my viewpoint on it so far. Am I perfectly right? I don't know. There's probably variation of that. All right? But yes, this is Babylon. It has to fall. Rome never fell. It was recreated. The Nazis never fell. This is the Fourth Reich in America. I'm going to go into vaccines, which is part of the Fourth Reich. I'm going to do that after these next two videos. We're going a little long tonight, but it's important information. And yes, they will probably have to put into place martial law. Because how do you handle the uprising from the New World Order? Because they're not going to take this sitting down. Okay? You're not going to just sit at home and be like, oh, everything is fine. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to be impacted. But some of these cities, in my opinion, are going to burn. They just are. Washington, D.C. is probably going to burn. Rome may burn. London may burn. This is not going to be America. This will be widespread. Now, let me take you in to this next clip. I'm first going to say that the show may get taken down because I'm showing a clip of InfoWars, but it's important. So if this show goes down in the next few minutes, you need to go over the network because I'm using InfoWars. They should be fine. Alex, you're amazing. Are you controlled that position? I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but I know you tell a lot of truth. And I'm proud of this next clip you put together because this is amazing, amazing information. So here you go.
But Dr. Steve Pachenik, as we're in the middle of this, the election's over. We're now in the stealing process of the election. What are you seeing? What's going through your mind as you're witnessing this gigantic hoax?
Number one, it's not a hoax. What's happening now, and the reason I couldn't come on the Alex Jones show last night was I was not given the permission that I needed to in order to say what I'm about to say now. I do not work for the federal government. I'm not paid by them. Let me just say again what I said in 2016. There are honorable members of our intelligence, military, and civilian community in the government who understood exactly how corrupt Biden and the Democratic machinery is, was, and will be. This is really a sting operation. Contrary to what everybody else said, Trump knew this was happening. Eric knew this was happening and warned the public. I knew this was happening. However, I could not say anything about it. What happened was we watermarked every ballot with what's called the QFS blockchain encryption code. In other words, we know pretty well where every ballot is, where it went, and who has it. So this is not a stolen election. On the contrary, we reversed the entire game of war along the lines of Sun Tzu, the art of war. And Trump was brilliant and still is brilliant at it. The reason he hasn't been seen, and Alex correctly said, oh, I haven't seen him in several days. Well, in the art of the war, you pull back, allow your enemy to make all the mistakes that they are making, manipulate the situation, expose them, and then come in for the final killing. And that's what's happening now. None of this was unexpected. All of this was expected. All of this is part of the sting operation we're running. And let me tell you that 48 hours ago, not only did we put markers on those ballots, but I can say now, with the permission of people in the intelligence community and elsewhere, that we have sent out thousands and thousands of National Guards to 12 different states, Washington, Delaware, Texas, Arizona, Alabama, and everywhere. So now you have to consider and rethink what this is really about. The genius of Trump is that he is able to pull back at any point and manipulate the opponent without the opponent ever realizing. He has said repeatedly, hashtag steal the vote. That's exactly what he has said for months. Then he made a very clear implication. He said, I will use common sense or my intelligence, i.e., both literal and figurative intelligence. And those of us in the intelligence community, be it who they are, again, what I said in 2016, when we exposed Hillary Clinton, we now exposed, and it was Trump who initiated this, Biden family. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, Jim Biden, Frank, the whole family was played right into a game where they were convicted, and you're seeing what's happening now. What was not announced was that we watermarked all the ballots with what I said at QFS blockchain, which is a very hard encryption code to break. And the second thing is we sent probably 20,000 or more our National Guards 48 hours ago. None of it was reported, and I thank the press for not reporting it and others. So what in fact is happening is you're seeing a sophisticated sting operation that was initiated by Trump. I'm just a lowly peasant in this game. And honestly, I was informed that I could say something about it today, only last night. That's why I could not come on.
Well,
This is the reverse of what you guys have been thinking. It's not a civil war. We have not been surprised in any way. This has been a setup by Trump for a long, long time. In the same way that we knew about Hillary Clinton, I warned about the coup that he would do a counter coup, and this is our counter coup again against the Bidens. And that's exactly what we expected. The corruption in the mail, the corruption of USPS, corruption with the Democrats, everywhere and anywhere. There was no surprise here. And that's why we deployed National Guard soldiers to 12 different states.
Well,
Nothing was said about it.
Steve, you've just broken certainly perhaps the biggest news since the election here on this show. I have to play this out logically in my head.
That's why I go on your show to basically, I keep.
Well, I love you, Steve. I'd kiss you on the lips right now if it wasn't digitally.
Yeah.
But
can't. There's too many people watching us.
We're open like that. We're tolerant. But Steve, following your logic here, I mean, are arrests inevitably coming down the road?
Yeah. They're coming not just down the road, they're being implemented. What you saw Corey Wendowski and Pam Biondi saying when they were in Clay County and as well in Philadelphia, that was not just a threat. That was exactly what's going to happen. People will be arrested as of tonight, tomorrow, and it will go on for quite a while. And this was a total sting operation that I can say.
So
I will
explain
not be anybody else. I have the permission to say it. I do not deal with classified information, as you know. I do not work for our government, but because I'm loyal to the Republic, and I work with a lot of people who are loyal to this Republic, including the 16 intelligence services, the Secret Service, our civilian service. They've all been great, and they've kept it quiet. And I've been given the permission to say what I've just said. I have nothing more to say, but this is not a surprise here. This is the biggest sting operation probably in our country that we've ever had.
Well, and it would be the genius of Trump. But Steve, I got to ask in the last minute 45 here to kind of hone in. So how is this watermark on the ballots? What is the significance of that as to, is it going to stop from fake ballots being counted, or how is that going to be used?
Well, we use it in any way that we need to use it in terms of counting, knowing which ones were fake, which ones were not. It's a very sophisticated code. So if you just throw them away, these are cyber communication implementations that we have the code for. We know exactly what was thrown away. We know exactly what was placed. We know exactly who has it, and we know exactly where it went. I can't go any further than that.
Wow, this is huge news that Steve Pieczenik is breaking on our show right now. For me to reiterate, I guess in my own words, President Trump and his administration and friendlies inside the White House in D.C. have launched a sting operation, knowing this Democrat fraud was coming. And, you know, Steve, you said Trump's been talking about this for months. Actually, it's really been years. This is from President Trump on October 10th.
So now I'm going to take you to this one and show this.
On November 1, 2016, Hillary and Bill Clinton and their entourage of assistants effected a civilian coup. In contrast to the usual concept of a coup where the military is involved and takes over the White House and communication centers, very much like the scenarios you see in a movie, this coup was done silently and very effectively through two methods: corruption and co-optation. The Clintons have been involved in co-opting our White House, our judiciary, our CIA, our Federal Bureau of Investigation, our Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, and our Director of the FBI, James Comey, for some time now. What they've done is to make sure that they were part and parcel of a group of people who were interrelated through political cronyism. However, in order to stop this coup, we in the intelligence community and others involved have informally gotten together, and with their permission, I am beginning to announce that we've initiated a counter coup through Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. What has happened in effect when Comey had to open up the case of Hillary Clinton and discuss the emails that were involved with the Anthony Weiner case, it was not the case itself that was as important as the fact that this was the entree for many of us in the counter coup to say to the administration, we have your number. Not only do we have your number, we're going to stop you from making Hillary the president of the United States. And at the same time, we will convict and indict the president of the United States, Loretta Lynch, and many others who were involved in the cover-up of the massive corruption that occurred under the Clinton Foundation. Now, in both cases, their coup was silent, and our counter coup was silent, and it was all transgressed or occurred on the internet. And this is probably the first time in the history of any country where a coup was initiated through the internet and a counter coup was initiated through the internet. I am just a small part of something far bigger than myself. It was the brave men and women who were in the FBI, the CIA, the Director of Intelligence, the military intelligence, and men and women in 15 other intelligence organizations who were sick and tired of seeing this corruption in the White House, in the Justice Department, and in the intelligence system. And we decided that there was something we had to do in order to save the Republic. So we initiated a counter coup through Julian Assange, who's been very brave and really quite formidable in his ability to come forth and provide all the necessary emails that we gave to him in order to undermine Hillary and Bill Clinton. Again, America, we're going through a major, major transition and, quite frankly, a second American Revolution. We do not have guns, we do not have weapons, we do not intend to kill anybody, we do not intend to harm anybody. But we, the American public, and those of us who serve as veterans and in the intelligence service like myself, will stop the Clintons from assuming power that they don't deserve. At the same time, we will make certain that Obama leaves without any trail of a pardon or any other act of treason. In effect, we want a peaceful transition in this great American Republic. I bring you this news, and I want you to understand what has happened. A moment of history is occurring right now in front of us, and I'm proud to explain it to you.
Now, there's something I want to explain before I go into the next part, and that is there are many people who will. That was Steve Pieczenik. Now, there are many people out there who claim Steve Pieczenik is part of the Mossad, part of the whole Israeli intelligence, etc. I don't know. I have never found any evidence that he is directly. Again, people are going to say things about InfoWars, Alex Jones. I am not promoting Alex in InfoWars or Steve Pieczenik. I am simply showing you information that they said today. Now, the one at the end of one was not today, but the other one I think was today or yesterday on Alex Jones' show, okay? I am showing you that this is a sting operation. He would not have come out and say that on InfoWars if that wasn't correct. All right. And I think he's former intelligence. I don't remember which one it is or not, but he is very pro-Trump. And so that's where I believe this is going. He dropped the Julian Assange info, and I will tell you, if you've seen shows in the past, there has been evidence that Julian Assange could be related to President Trump. He could be his nephew. I don't know that for sure. If you put him upside President Trump's, John Trump, I believe it is. John Trump, I think it is, looks just like Julian Assange, obviously minus the hair. Is he? I don't know. But just letting you know, that's what I've been looking at, watching it, and I'm going to tell you this is part of a sting. They knew exactly what was going on. So I'm not saying Pieczenik and InfoWars and Alex are perfect. I'm just giving you information. Now, everyone is also concerned about vaccinations. Now, let me tell you and rant a little bit about vaccinations. You can find my rants way back as well, but I'm happy to go on another one for you. Vaccinations, and this is the biggest amount of people, audience, I've ever been able to preach this about. So I am very excited to educate you. Vaccinations are a crime against humanity. They are population control. Okay? They are disgusting. No one, I'm not saying this is a doctor, I'm saying this is my personal opinion, should be involved with vaccinations, and that includes going forward. All right? Vaccinations are destroying our children. Plain and simple. If you are on here or know somebody who wants to argue with you about vaccinations and how they're necessary, they are unnecessary. They're criminal. That simple. You can go back and watch my interview with Sherry Tenpenny. You can go follow Suzanne Humphreys. You can follow Judy Mikovits. You can follow the plethora of doctors out there who have spoken about this. I have preached about it. They are using them to destroy your children. They are using them to destroy America and America's children. And no, adults should not be getting them either. They are population control, crime against humanity, loaded with heavy metals, heavy chemicals, aborted fetal tissue. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, Margaret Sanger. Thank you, Planned Parenthood. This is why they want aborted children, because they can use the cell lines to insert into the vaccines, which can then cause the cancer in the human system because the DNAs do not belong together. That simple. They do not eradicate disease. You know what eradicates disease? Cleanliness, hygiene, food and water, nutrition, and the human immune system the nervous system. That's what stops disease from happening. All right? When I talk to a person, when I see patients, okay, which, yes, people ask me all the time, I still see patients from a distance as well as in person. Okay? When I see people that are chronically ill or have a problem, very often I go back and I say, what vaccines have you had and when did you have them? And so many people, adults included, children, autism, 100%. Now, is vaccines the only thing that causes autism? No, but it's the trigger. Glyphosate in the food, chemicals, metals, destroying the gut, helps cause autism. But the vaccine, the injection, the heavy metals and chemicals and aborted fetal tissue into the vein, into the arm, goes to the brain, and it coats the brain in heavy metals and chemicals, and it short circuits the nervous system. If you wouldn't take a pitcher of water and dump it on your circuit breaker at home, then why the hell would you insert those chemicals and the heavy metals into a bloodstream that goes straight to the brain? You're asking for damage. You're asking for destruction. Now tie that with chemtrails, tie that with all the garbage we have in our water, the psych drugs, etc. Welcome to the New World Order. You've been sitting in the New World Order your entire lifetime. They have been working to population control. I literally just had 2 patients today from Australia who are amazing human beings. I love them. They're some of my favorite patients. Right? I'm handling both the husband and the wife. Wonderful people. And they had to get a vaccine a long time ago for travel. They got them. Now, you don't have to. There's a whole thing on that. We'll go into some other time. But they did. At the time, they did. I didn't know them. And I don't know what the rules were there. However, immediately after, he gets the shingles. And then she starts having a tremor. To this day, she has tremors. Now, she is a very functional adult. She's doing very well. But she has a tremor. And she realized that started after the vaccines that she received for travel. And so I said, this is what happened. For him, that vaccine or those vaccines plugged a virus directly into his nerves, into his nervous system, which came out as shingles. For her, they gave her Guillain-Barré syndrome, and they won't label it that way because they don't even understand what they're talking about. The basically shutting down of a peripheral nervous system so she gets a tremor. It never ever fails to find wonderful human beings who have gotten chronically ill post a vaccine. And they don't necessarily think about it until way after. Now, I energetically test for vaccines. So I can actually find out, possibly if it's still in the system, what may have damaged it, and then we help to detoxify said toxins or whatever toxins that are still left in there, and we rebuild the system. Now, I can never say any guarantee or promise that we bring anybody back, especially when it comes to autism. However, yes, one of the most successful offices, my office with us, to help radically improve the quality of life of a child who has been affected with autism. And I'm going to tell you right now, take this topic and revert back to my original rant earlier in this show. If you have someone in your life that doesn't get it, wants to vaccinate the kids, it is your duty to educate them. Do not scream at their face. Give them actual information. But vaccines are one of the greatest causes of chronic disease, autoimmune disease, on the face of the planet. You want to know why autoimmune disease is skyrocketing? You want to know why cancer is skyrocketing in the US? You know why every chronic debilitating issue, both in children and adults, is skyrocketing? Because the vaccination schedule is also skyrocketing. And I do not argue anymore with people who want to argue about vaccines. So, do not ask me to comment. Do not ask me to talk to somebody who is for them. I will not argue with an individual over vaccines. I will not join a comment thread, anything else. If you are not waking up to this at this point, I'm very concerned about you. If you want to save those people and get them to flip to the other side, you need to start educating. I've been doing this for a decade plus. I am now in the position of ranting like this to you on how we fix this and how we handle it. But I am not getting into arguments. I've had plenty of them, just not happening anymore. I am happy to help children. You can work with me. That is perfectly fine. NoblePatriotHealth.com. You see it below. I am happy to work one-on-one. You can use supplementation. You can buy kids' vitamins from me. I will help in any way possibly physically. But I'm not having discussions with people who believe in vaccines and I have to turn them. Not going to happen. Not going to do it. Welcome to population control. Welcome to the Bill Gates Initiative. Welcome to the Planned Parenthood Initiative. Welcome to the New World Order Initiative. That's what it is. All right. I went way over tonight. I'm not going to take questions tonight, but you can ask questions. We will try to get to some of them if we can. I will maybe take questions in a different show this week or early next week. But I hope this show helped you tonight. A lot of information. Let us know what you need. Let us know how we can better help you. Let us know how we can bring tremendous value to you. Get prepared. Get educated. Conjure your patriotic pride and freedom. Stop backing yourself into a corner. Stop running away from people who want to confront you and handle the situation. Be the patriot you were forged into here at this moment in this time. And as always, serve and help your fellow man tomorrow, this week, this weekend. That is what helps us push through to the other side with our new American Republic. I want you to all be well. I love all of you guys. Take care of yourselves. I will see you tomorrow. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network.